The meat supply chain in the Falklands is rapidly evolving. Once over, the Falklands Islands Meat Company, or as it's commonly referred to as FIMCO, solely provided meat for the local market. But 13 years ago, the Sandbay Abattoir made some huge advancements and became an EU-accredited export meat plant, commissioned and approved for lamb and mutton exports in 2002 and beef in 2008. Now in its 14th export season, FIMCO has seen its produce and customer base expand across a plethora of European countries.
In terms of countries, that's pretty much spread obviously from the UK. They take about 50%, a bit more than 50% this year, and then into mainland Western Europe. So we're talking about Denmark, Sweden, Germany, France, Spain, as far as the Faroe Islands, down into the Canary Islands, Malta sometimes.
The production line for the export season began in early January, and for the last 4 months, the Sandbay Abattoir has seen a constant stream of meat on its conveyor belts, being cut, inspected and packed, ready to be dispatched overseas. This uniformed assembly line is controlled by production manager Nigel Leach, who meticulously inspects every operation undergone here, ensuring the meat that leaves the factory walls is of the highest quality.
So the full production process comes under my responsibility. So that's basically from live animal coming in to boxed product going out. So animals into the slaughter hall, obviously, full process there, clean presentation, standard of carcass dressing, etc., all the way through. Once that carcass has been weighed, labelled, all the rest of the things that go on into the chillers, the following day they will be then cut, packaged as per specification for that carcass or that animal and for the customer requirements.
Year on year, FIMCO are constantly trying to improve their product, as well as attempting to break into new markets. And this area in particular is one that General Manager John Ferguson is investigating further.
We're needing to get into some new markets, so we've got a project going on now that we are pulling together all the resources that we need to try and get FIMCO and the Falkland Islands in essence into some new markets where we can sell a similar product, but we know there's a price advantage. And some of them are South American countries, and some of those might be United States. But also it's important that we also look to the Far East, because one of the things that we're disposing a lot of at the moment, because it's not there's no real value in shipping heads and offals and trotters and things like this, which are really more suited to the Far Eastern market. So we're kind of disposing this, and so we're losing income, and all these things are really important to make the whole thing profitable.
The export season at FIMCO has enabled Falkland farmers to expand their livestock numbers. Once over, they would have provided meat for just the local market, but now their produce is reaching new customers overseas, providing them with the capital to explore new trends in agriculture.
It's very important for farmers. It gives them a second income stream. So rather than being solely dependent on wool exports and some beef, local beef production, they've also can do something with the carcass of the animal. So over the last 10 years or plus, we've been looking at genetics whereby we get a finer micron for wool, but we also get a good conformation of animal that's got good meat on it and has a market. So it's really, really important for farmers, particularly if they get a bad wool year, then they've got income from meat. So it spreads the risk and it's just terrific how it's going.
The meat processing industry is a laborious business and one that requires the utmost precision. But it doesn't come without its rewards, as this year's export season has proven.
I think there's been a lot of really good news this year. So production has went well. The livestock has been really good condition. We've had introduced contract systems for farmers for the first time, and that has been pretty successful. So all good news there.
Well done to everybody down at the plant. The people have worked really hard. It's been a very smooth running season from my perspective, but also well done to all of the farmers out there that have produced a very consistent product, and I wish them every success in the next season, where perhaps we don't have such a good growing year. Grass might not be quite so plentiful, and people will need to plan to finish their animals to keep this consistency going.
So with the hope of entering new markets and expanding their customer base beyond the EU, Fimco's 15th export season is already set to be a promising one. Sophie Dulson, FITV News, Stanley.